ladies and gentlemen. So on my tirade and quest for finding the perfect MMO for myself, I actually took a look at Need for Speed World, which is a racing MMO, and wanted to do a bit of a review and some of my findings on its. I've played it a few times now and had it for a few weeks, and want to get my initial impressions of the Need for Speed World. So let me first talk about, well, first of all, if you don't know what Need for Speed is, if you've been living in an igloo, basically Need for Speed is a very popular racing series, and it's known for a lot of single-player games out there, which you can have, you can actually play online, even though they're not online games per se, but Need for Speed World is basically an MMO focused on racing, and it's made for the online experience. So let me first talk about what's good about Need for Speed World, and I'll talk about the ugly. So the good thing about this, out of all the MMOs that I've been playing and checking out, it's one that feels the least grindy. It doesn't feel repetitive. It just feels fluid when you compare it to the experience of playing a single-player game, which feels pretty similar. Like it just, there's not much difference between playing Need for Speed online in terms of losing stuff and just getting bored and playing, playing the multiplayer version. And you get that added value of knowing that you're actually racing against real opponents, not just artificial intelligence and computers, which makes it fun. So out of all the MMOs so far, I found this it doesn't get boring, and I find that addictive. And with racing games, the beauty of racing games is that you can play 5, 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, and still get a good amount of fun in there, and you don't have to necessarily always put in so much time to enjoy yourself. You don't forget how to play if you haven't played for a while. So it's a great game to play casually, and if you play intermittently, you can actually do that as well. So I think that's that's actually it's ideal for that setup if you just don't have time to get locked into games sometimes, and you have times where you have to take a break. What's also great about the Need for Speed is that you can interact with people, but you don't have to. A lot of times I've actually found in Need for Speed World, out of all the MMOs, I've interacted the least with people, and just trying to add them to your friends list, and you don't have to. You just jump into a race. You don't have to say anything to anybody, and you feel like you're part of something, and you're engaged with people because you're racing against them without having to say anything. So that can be a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it sort of forces you to not be, not forces you, but it sometimes can encourage you to not be social. But the nature of the game itself is social, right? You're racing against each other, so there's a purpose to actually going online and actually playing with other people, whereas other games like Warcraft, a lot of times people don't interact with each other and they just want to quest alone, which is kind of stupid in my opinion, because they just want to level up, and then why would you do that? Why would you go on an MMO and not want to have anything to do with people? And I know that's a bit of a contradiction, and I get that sometimes you just don't want to talk, but Need for Speed World, you just play and you're already interacting with people on a certain level. Now let's talk about the bad. So the graphics in my opinion are okay. I mean, you have to keep in mind, obviously it's an MMO, so as an MMO there's actually it tends to limit itself in terms of the amount of detail that you can have, and polygon count, and texture details. So it fits along that standard. I would say it's slightly lower than than expectations where it should be, but still generally on par here. I mean, the graphics itself, I would consider almost to be like a game. If it was a single-player game, it's something that's from the year 2006 or 2005. That level of detail, maybe a little bit more than 2005, more 2006 type of thing. So the graphics are okay. The other sort of bad point about this is a free-to-play game, but you do need to eventually pay. Like you can play this game. It doesn't necessarily prompt you for money at any point. You can play, do all the races, and have fun with it and interact, and you're not limited in terms of features. But ultimately, you're not going to be winning races if you don't upgrade your car, and you need to pay to upgrade your car. So it's not completely free in the sense that to advance and really get the full experience, you got to end up paying eventually at some point. So that's sort of a reality. It's not like something like Raiders or Terra, which will allow you to obviously people get an advantage, but to be on equal par with them. In some cases, it could be just a question of people winning races based on the fact that they spent more money on their cars, which I guess that's kind of like real life in a way too, right? But so that's it's not a bad thing. I mean, hey, end of the day, developers have to make their money, and they have to recoup their investment for the development costs that they have. Don't worry, I'm not going to be just randomly driving around here. I'm eventually going to do a race so you can see what it looks like. I just also want to preface too that they said that there were some technical difficulties at the beginning when I started this game. So if this crashes, it would be the servers crashing, and I'll just restart. So that brings me to another point. So of my limited time frame, that I've been playing this, they have had a couple periods where they've had some technical difficulties, which makes me question the stability of the servers at times. So that's just in a period of 2 weeks. Out of all the MMOs I played, I found that they actually had more issues there. But that's just a limited sample size. I could just be going through some things at the given time. So another negative here. Sorry, I just actually want to go back to on the issue of price, which I mentioned is kind of a negative, that you actually do have to end up paying if you really want the full experience. Though it doesn't really seem that way, like at first, is that this is kind of a plus, but it ties into that negative that I talked about. The price is not outrageous. You have different scales, which you have these speed boosts, which you basically cash in the world that you can use, and you can apply it in any way that you want, whether upgrading your car or buying a new car altogether. And those speed boosts, they have different packages, and I'm thinking in Canadian dollars because I'm Canadian, and basically Canadian dollar is pretty on par with the American dollar at this time in 2013. But you can have these packages for low price of $7, $14, $25, $50, which is nice because instead of being a monthly subscription fee, because then you might have a time where you don't play again for a couple months because life gets busy, and you can just decide to apply those dollars at another time, right? So, or just apply $7 at a time and slowly accumulate enough, and then decide how you want to use that money in terms of in terms of your how you wish, right? So those are some of the negatives, right? But overall, I think Need for Speed World is a really it's a great game. I really find myself getting addicted to it, which is what my goal has been in playing all these MMOs and doing reviews on them, is just to try and to find something to actually get addicted to that doesn't feel like a grind. And so far, Need for Speed World has come the closest to giving me that experience, because it's so close to a single player experience and giving the same benefits plus more. So I'd encourage you to check it out if you're into racing games, and it's not a crazy cost. Just also going back to costs, like so, you know, even like with the $50 speed boost, you could buy a McLaren F1 with that type of money in the game, and plus have a little bit more left over. So you know that dollar figure can still take you pretty far, right? So anyways, enough driving down randomly. So you know, you drive around in this sort of open world and you select different races, and then you can even also chat with people here. See, this guy's he's disappeared, no one's staying still. I'm just trying to find someone before I hit a race, just to show you a little bit of the social interaction. Okay. Anyone home here? Oh. Come on, buddy. Talk to me, talk to me. Alright, in terms of the community, I found also people generally pretty responsive, pretty friendly, which is good. Okay, come here, and let's see if he talks to me. I'm gonna invite him to my group. So anyways, yeah, you can just chat with people and stuff like that. Same sort of standard stuff with an MMO. You can even hook up your microphone that if you invited the same party. And see, he's joined me, which is nice. See? People are friendly here so far from what I've seen, which I can't say for every MMO. So anyways, I'm going to join a race now. And we're going to actually see what it's like to do a race. I'm only racing against one other person. Okay, so you're going to see my pretty bad driving skills. I'm pretty terrible. Ideally, I want to race against more people, so it's not as apparent. It's not as apparent that I'm going to embarrass myself. Oh shit! Let me get out of this race here. Sorry, bud. I want to race with more people. Okay, this looks interesting. So yeah, you can just hit the E button and it'll look for events, drivers. And yeah, it's just pretty easy. You just go one after the other. Okay, so I found any drivers for this event. So not E, you hit R actually. Okay, so that's good. We got a good roster of people here. You're gonna see my terrible driving skills at work. I'm not very good at this game, and I do need to upgrade my car eventually, but I'll give you an idea of the gameplay. Try not to laugh when I crash into the walls and people smash into me. I like games, but I never said I was really good at them. Good, I need some so far. Sometimes these guys' cars are so souped up, you just get right off the line and they start smoking it. Whoa, that was okay. since I laughed, you can laugh. Oh, that's brilliant. There's a trail. You just took me. Fifth or second last. Absolutely brilliant. The guy was 6, he's probably drunk. So I'm just probably being a drunk guy. And he's about to overtake me too. You can see on the map where your competitors are. He's pretty close. He's right behind me there. I should take a shortcut. Oh, brilliant. I think I did that last time. The guy who's in 4th place is way ahead of me, so looks like I might be stuck in this position for a while. Smoked in this race, which is it's not unusual. I usually win awards for participation in this game. Or if you watch my other MMO reviews, me sucking at MMOs is pretty consistent. You see me in some of those PvP battles in Terra. Raiders. Whoa, whoa! It's not paying attention. This race almost gonna be over. Oh, and I should have taken that shortcut. Well, not that it matters. It's only 7. A couple seconds left. Alright, well, at least I didn't get last. Oh, no, wait. There's all these guys that didn't finish. Too, so... No, that's me. Sorry. Alright, so I will not race again. So yeah, there you have it. I think it's worth checking out. Definitely, it's it's not World of Warcraft. It's there's not very many games out there like Need for Speed World. So I think it's, if you like racing, which who the heck doesn't, check it out. All right, happy gaming.
Ah!